On the agenda tonight, we're going to be addressing the question, what has happened to live music? Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So this is something that I've been thinking about recently with singers that I've been taking a look at, and some in particular that have been singing along to a backing track and then having a lead vocal on that backing track. And it really coincides with an email that I was sent as well, where somebody sent me a few videos and said, what has happened to live performances like this? And we are going to take a look at those performances because I think it's really interesting to see how the music industry has changed over the last, what I would say, is 30 years. So to try and supply a bit of context here, we're going to be taking a look at a few videos, and I think there are quite a lot like this, where back in the day, for example, 1967 here, we've got the Box Tops performing The Letter, but it's on a TV show, and there were many TV shows where bands went on there, an artist went on there, and they mimed, because that was just what happened on TV. But a lot of these bands and artists weren't happy about it, and they made it obvious in their live performance that they weren't actually playing. So I'm going to play this, and to avoid, copyright blocks and all that kind of stuff, I've muted the audio because just looking at it, you get this kind of thing where, you've got this kind of thing, taking the hands off the keyboard, and you can see actually throughout this performance that, look, it's very much put on. But again, I'm going to leave links to this video and the other videos in the description below, so you can watch it and appreciate it and watch it the whole way through, but with the sound. But it's these kinds of things where musicians and artists who have a particular level of integrity and authenticity, when they weren't playing, they felt a bit stupid. Because they were musicians, they're pretending to do something that they can do, and it almost goes against every fibre of their being, so they made sure that people knew that they weren't playing. So here's another example. We've got the Mamas and the Papas, 1967 this was, and we've got them performing California Dreamin', and Michelle's eating a banana. So again, it's this kind of silent protest that we're not singing live. We can do it live. We don't want to pretend to do it, but we've got to do it for TV. So we're going to let everybody know that we're not really doing it. This was another situation where I think Kurt Cobain was told just before they're about to go on stage that they couldn't play live, that they just had to pretend. So I'm going to let it play through. And again, I'll mute this to stop the block. But just look at the way that he's obviously not playing his guitar, and this is the protest. This is showing everybody that they're not actually playing, but we've got to listen to this vocal. Let me wait for it to come in. We'll just listen to it very briefly. So the mic was live, so he was going to be singing live, but because they're not playing, Kurt is not going to sing properly, and he does this for the whole song. So again, this is in the early 90s, where not playing live, miming to a backing track, not singing, all these kinds of things, artists and bands didn't want to do it, and they wanted people to know that they weren't doing it. So I just want to throw in a little bit more context here with the timeline, because in 1988, that's when the whole Milli Vanilli thing happened, and that was seen as outrageous because they were miming to other people's voices. And I have mentioned in the past that Milli Vanilli, as artists themselves, they were good enough singers to be pitch corrected or auto-tuned. So if the technology have been available at that time, would people have been so up in arms about it if they actually used their own voices, but they used pitch correction and auto-tune? But of course, that's a discussion for a totally different time. Anyway, getting back to this, we're now fast forwarding to 2004. So now we're in the 2000s, and we've got the Ashlee Simpson performance. And I remember this It was huge here in the UK, and a lot of people refer to this as, potentially, ruining her career or halting it, because she was due to mime on a TV show, but the backing track started and she couldn't hear the backing track. So of course her voice starts up and she's not doing anything. And I think maybe even the band aren't playing. But this was a huge controversy where, because she wasn't singing live and the band weren't playing, it was seen as outrageous and therefore potentially could end somebody's career. So fast forwarding now to just 20 years, on a video that I did recently on a singer where the singer was singing live in sections but then lip syncing through other parts of the show, and the people have messaged me saying, oh no, he was singing all the time but there was a lead vocal on the backing track. And with the depth of the analysis and the way that I do the analysis videos with the pitch monitoring software, if there's a live vocal over the top of a pre-recorded studio vocal that's on a backing track, the lines will still not match up, because that live vocal will be throwing in so many other data points. It has to be the same vocal again for it to line up perfectly. Getting back to the point, I've had people actively get involved and message me saying, oh, but what you're saying is misleading because it wasn't full lip syncing, it was partial lip syncing. So this is where, for me, it's amazing that people are now saying that, oh no, partial lip syncing is fine. So it's when you sing a little bit, maybe just the low parts of your song, but then for all the high notes and the choruses, you mime that, you lip sync that. That is now fine. So let's call it what it is. It's partial lip sync, as if that is more credible. So I wanted to make the point in this video that there's definitely a shift that has happened where back in the day, if you did anything that wasn't 100% true and honest and authentic and had artistic integrity to it, you could get your whole career cancelled just for that one performance. But now it's almost like, oh yeah, but you are allowed to fake a bit. As long as you fake a bit, that's okay. Just fake all the high stuff. But then the low stuff, if you do sing that, then that still counts as not lip syncing. So, I mean, this is why I wanted to get your opinion in the comments section as to what you think about this. If you go to watch an artist and they're singing low parts of their songs and then all of the high notes from the record are pre-recorded and might even be the audio from that original release, do you class that as not being 100% honest? Or do you think, well, partial lip syncing is fine just for the high bits, because, high notes are hard to do, especially live? So yeah, it'll be interesting to know what you guys think. But given what I've been looking at recently and this particular email that was sent to me, I just realized how much the shift has happened. And of course, it is hugely down to the music industry getting pitch correction as an industry standard over the last 20 years. That's something that they've been trying to do so that every singer can now be as accurate as every other singer. It now isn't about being able to hit notes accurately. But I think this is a bit of a different discussion when you're talking about having pure backing tracks going on that have a lead vocal on there. A lot of professional singers that I've spoken with agree that having a lead vocal on your backing track is not something professional singers do, especially, ones in the public eye, and they are the ones that I am talking to and have spoken to recently, that they see it as just their artistic integrity, that they know themselves if they have their own voice on a backing track. And just as artists, they can't live with that. They would rather go out and have their voice as it truly is, and miss notes here or there, but at least it was a 100% genuine performance from them, to then have the opposite, which will be them pretending to sing. I think you've got to go out and just do what you do, and if people like it, great. If people don't like it, then that's up to them. Or if you're having a difficult vocal day, That's exactly what it is. It just is what it is, but at least you can say, well, I'm singing live. That's why it doesn't sound as amazing as the recording, because I'm actually doing it. I'm not having any backing tracks or lead vocals on my backing tracks. I know the principle, but to try and, I don't know, make an excuse for it by saying, oh, well, partial's okay, you know, when it's just for high notes and stuff. But full lip sync is totally out of order. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I am very much seeing it from that artistic point of view, and maybe that's why. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Keep those suggestions and requests coming for future videos in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!